Win $3,000 today, or I quit poker. I am definitely hoping for the former, but I will let the cards on the felt decide my fate. Now, I've done this kind of thing 2 times in the past where I go into the poker room and try to win 3 grand before leaving. I won one, lost one. Back then, my rule was if I decide to quit for whatever reason, I can donate $1,000 to charity to get out of there, basically. But this time, I'm not giving myself an out because I've been on quite a downswing and I really need the money. So this is kind of like my way to make sure I do. I just won't leave until I make 3 grand. But I will still be giving away $1,000 this time to a subscriber. So stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can get in on that action. For now, please wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. Here we go.
So believe it or not, it's actually been snowing here in Texas, so the card room's been closed for the past couple of days. That's why I'm getting a pretty late start here. It's about 5 p.m. when we get in there. We're buying in for $1,000 with the goal of running up the stack to 4 grand. The late start is not ideal, but I'm prepared to go all night. Let's go. You know, a lot of people say that patience is a virtue, but it's never really been one of my virtues, which is why it is great that literally the first hand that I'm dealt is pocket king. I was hoping to get off to a hot start, and it looks like I just might. A player opens to 20, another player calls. We're in the cutoff, definitely gonna bump things up. I make it 90 to go, and it doesn't fold around to the original raiser. The small blind now starts thinking about his decision, and the decision he makes is a great one for us, I think. He 4-bets to 275. Now, I'll tell you, never in my life have I folded pocket kings pre-flop, and that's definitely not gonna change with this situation. So when the other 2 players get out of the way, I go all in, and
It's 1,000.
okay, amazing. He did not snap call, so now we're definitely rooting for a call. We should be way ahead, and eventually he does put the money in. He asks if I want to go once or twice, which is an interesting question here. I like going twice, but considering the situation that we're in, it's probably better to go once. We need some good variance to make this challenge, right? But I leave it up to him, and he wants to go twice, so here we go. Okay, maybe I didn't do the best job of filming the run out here, but if you can make it out, it's pretty clean on the first one. Second one, we flop a set, but there are 3 spades out there and the turn's an ace. So we fill up, but we lose to ace king now, but it doesn't matter. He mucks his hand, so I'm guessing he had pocket jacks or something thereabouts, right? So we double up. Literally the very first hand that I'm dealt in. Now we've got a beautiful 1K chip to go along with our stack. Let's keep going. Can't ask for a better start. Then just a few minutes later, we're in the straddle with queen 4 of spades. It folds all the way around to the button, who makes it 30, folds to me. I think he can defend just about any suited combination here, especially one with a face card. So I make the call. The flop isn't really us. It's 8, 7, 6 rainbow with 1 spade. But the important thing about this board is it's unlikely to be him either. He's gonna have a lot of big cards that just totally miss on this flop. So when he down bets to $25, I don't want to let people just stab freely, right? So I'm gonna fight for the pot here. I go 75, but he makes the call. When that happens, I think I'm gonna shut down most of the time unless I turn some equity, and I do turn some equity. It's the ace of spades. Ace will hit him a decent amount of the time. I think he can float like ace jack, ace 10, definitely ace 9. It'll also give him 2 pair sometimes. So now if I continue betting, I think I'm committing myself to making this a 3 street bluff, and I'm okay with that considering I now have the spade draw. I still have the gutter to the 5, and there's a lot of hands that we can get to fold on the river, right? So I make it $140 to go, and again, he's gonna make the call. So there are 2 things that can happen here. Most of the time I'm gonna miss and I'm gonna blast, but the preferable option is if the 3 of spades comes and I don't blast, I just value bet. And it's a good thing that you wish me luck at the start of the video because it is the 3 of spades. So we've backdoored our way into a very strong hand. I make it $365, hoping for a call. What I get is even better. He goes all in. Now there is a chance that he has the king high flush, but we're not too worried about that, of course. I make the call and he has a jack high flush, guys. He had jack 9 suited, so he was double gutted on the flop. He turned a flush draw like I did, and it came home. just an incredible sequence of events, really. This is crazy. Probably one of the sicker hands I've played ever. And it works out totally in our favor. So now I've got the stack up to over 3.4k. That means we're 80% of the way through in like, what, 15 minutes of play? I thought I was going to be playing till like 4 in the morning, but now this is looking like it's going to be a very short video. Then it's time to play a bomb pot. Now, just in case you don't know, here at TCH, we do double board PLO bomb pots every dealer change. You buy in for $15 and go straight to the flops. And to give more context, I haven't won one of these, so meaning I scoop both boards in some kind of capacity in literally 4 months. That's not an exaggeration. I told you I was on the downswing, and these things happen every 30 minutes, and I lose literally every single time. Sometimes I chop. Those are the good days. But tonight, everything's kind of going my way, so maybe this will too. I flopped 2 pair on one board and a full house on the other. Important to note that on that bottom board, I have the nuts because pocket 8s isn't possible with the 8 in my hand and another 8 on the other flop, right? So it's pretty amazing. I lead out for $75 and only one player makes the call. Turns are not that good, I think. It's a queen on both boards. So the most obvious straight draw up top gets there. There's also another flush draw going on. Also, queen deuce beats me, and God forbid pocket queens just has me crushed now. This is definitely a mistake, but I check, and the reason is I'm just scared. Like I said, I haven't won one of these in months, and I think there might be monsters under my bed, basically. I've lost these in every way possible. So I check it over to him, and he checks it back. So pretty sure we're way ahead now. The river is a deuce on the top board, which means he doesn't have a deuce, and a 6 on the other. Now with the 2 pair up top, it might be good. The bottom is definitely good. I think he would have bet queens on the turn. So I'm gonna go for value, knowing I have one. Hopefully I have both. I go $200. He snap calls, and we do scoop for, again, the first time in 4 months for me. Everything's going my way. We've got the stack up to 3.7k. That means we're 90% of the way through. Just gotta tighten up and grind out this last $300. And we might just do it right here. Pocket 6s in the big blind. The cutoff opens to 20. Now the button is gonna raise to $75. This 3-bet is definitely gonna get me out of there, but then the small blind cold calls, and now I'm wondering if I have the pot odds to go for a set here. And to me, it doesn't look like the cutoff is getting ready to put in a 4-bet. I think he's just gonna call, so I'm just gonna go for it, man. I call, hoping to hit a 6. The cutoff calls as well, so we're 4 ways going to a flop. Ace, 8, 8. I don't see a 6 out there, so we're definitely out of the mix. We all check it over to the 3-better, who checks it back, so one more chance at it, but it's the queen of spades. We do have a 6-high flush draw, but yeah, essentially nothing. Small blind checks, I check. The cutoff now puts in a bet for 250, and eventually everybody folds around to me. Of course I fold too. We go again. We move on to queen 6 suited in the big blind. Cutoff makes it 15, folds to me. Suited cards, face card, definitely putting in the call. We flop absolutely nothing. It's kind of similar to that queen 4 hand. So I check, he bets 10, and like my reasoning before, I just think he's gonna have nothing like a large percentage of the time. I don't want to let people just stab freely against me, so I raised to $35, trying to fight for every pot. Unfortunately, he makes the call, and similar to the last time, the turn is an ace. The difference now is I don't have equity like I did before. I don't even have a gut shot. I definitely don't have a flush draw. I just check, give up, and he checks it back. River is the 3 of hearts, brings in that backdoor flush draw. Pretty inconsequential just considering how the hand has played out so far. And I don't love what I do here, but I just still think he doesn't have very much. So I bet $65, hoping for a fold. I don't think my hand makes a ton of sense, but it kind of could. Like if I had an ace in my hand, I think I would play this way. And thankfully he agrees with me because he makes the fold. Not sure about the merits of this bluff, but it works out this time, and we recoup our losses mostly from the pocket 6's hand. And let's get back to the monster, shall we? Pocket queens on the button. Folds all the way around to me. I raise to 20 like I would with almost any hand, but especially this one. The small blind now raises to 105. Big blind gets out of the way, and it's kind of unclear how many chips he has. He's got them all in kind of a pile, but my estimate is he's got about $800 total in play. And with queens, button versus small blind, I'm happy to just get this in. So I put in a 4-bet, pretty small, 260. Ready to call a jam, but he just snap folds. So we pick up over $100 here, uncontested, inching closer and closer to our target $4,000 stack. Maybe we can get there right here. King 10 off in the big blind. It folds all the way around to the small blind. Now, of course, you have the option to chop or play. When I was out in Vegas a few months ago, I just stopped chopping because it happens so often. People play so tight out there that, you know, it just folds around to the blinds like a large percentage of the time. Here in Texas, though, I'm usually happy to chop if the other person wants to, but this player does not chop. So honestly, that's what I prefer. He raises to 20 and I make the call. We flop really well, but it is a very wet board. King, Queen 10, Rainbow. He puts in 25 more dollars and I make the call. Turn is incredible. It's a king. I think we can cooler him with a lot of hands here, and also he's just gonna bluff on this board a lot of the time. But here he decides to check. I think he has a queen or nothing basically when he does this, maybe some kind of underpair. So I'm gonna check, give him some rope for the river, which comes the ace of diamonds. So backdoor flush draw gets there. Don't think he has that, but it is possible the ace hit him, or even better, he has a jack in his hand. Would love to see him put in some money, but he checks again. And in hindsight, I think I should go small here just because it seems like he's pretty weak, but I go for $75, hoping to get a call from something. I'm not even sure what my bluffs are really though. I mean, I'd have to have floated the flop with basically nothing or be turning a 10 into a bluff, but I go $75 and he makes the fold. So not much value with our full house here, but we are getting closer and closer. I think about $100, maybe a little bit more, away from our target mark. But the boys aren't going to make it easy for us. We get Queen 10 suited in early-ish position. I raise it up to 20, get 3-bet to 60 by the button. Could go all three ways here, but I don't want to bloat the pot considering where I'm at. And I'm also not in the mood to fold. So I make the call and we flop a 10, but there's an ace out there too. So not feeling too great about the situation. I check and I'm pretty happy to see him check it back. Turns to 3 of hearts. Now there's 2 flush draws out there. My hand is not strong enough to value bet in this situation, and it's too strong to bluff. So I check, and now he does put in a bet, and I think this is going to be a weak ace or pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket jacks a lot of the time. I think his bluffs would have just bet the flop with the ace out there, so I'm not confident whatsoever in my 10. I make the fold. But I soon find a hand that I am very confident in. It's pocket aces under the gun. I raise it up to 20. Let's see what kind of action there is to be had. And there is none. Everybody folds. That doesn't happen very much in Texas, so it hurts so much when it does. Don't worry though, I have no shortage of monsters being dealt my way. How about pocket queens in the small blind? The low jack, who's the same player from that queen 4 hand and the bomb pot hand, raises it up to 20. I 3-bet him to 80 and he makes the call. We get a great flop for pocket queens, 10, 5 deuce rainbow board. I'm gonna down bet really small because he's gonna miss this flop a lot. I go 40 and he makes the call. Turns the 4 of diamonds, brings in a backdoor flush draw, and I'm gonna get tricky here, guys. I'm gonna check. And the reason for this is because I think he's just gonna have nothing, like a decent amount of the time. He floated my flop bet because it was small and he's in position. If he does have a 10 or like pocket 8s, pocket 7s, we're definitely costing ourselves value. But I like this play. I'm gonna give him some rope with hands that have little to no equity against mine. He bets $150 now, and going along with the plan that I have in my mind, I make the call. Final card's an offsuit deuce, which is just perfect. I continue to check in flow and he bets out $200. And honestly, against this sizing in a normal situation, I would raise, but the risk reward is like so asymmetrical now because I'm just trying to get over the hump here. And if I win the hand with the money that's in the middle already, I will definitely do that. So I'm not going to risk things here. I just make the call and he just tells me you're good. So it looks like the plan worked perfectly. And guys, look at the stack. It is up to 4.3k. Just incredible stuff. Looks like we're done, or are we? Okay, well, that happened a lot faster than I anticipated. It's awesome, it's great, but I don't want to like hit and run the table, so let's just keep playing for a little bit and hopefully I don't give it all back. So I decided to continue playing. We get king 10 of hearts in the small blind. The button raises it up to 20. I 3-bet to 80 and he makes the call. Kind of a dicey spot we're putting ourselves in, especially when the flop is 7-5-4 all spades. We've had some really good flops today, definitely some good turns and rivers. This is not one of those. I would c-bet most of the time, but I decided to just check because I have nothing and I have a lot to lose, right? And I'm planning to check fold, but he puts out $25, and well, for this price, I don't know if I can fold literally anything. I call, the turn's the 9 of hearts, still no help to us. I check again and he bets 75. Again, a really small size. I don't know if he just has something really strong that he wants me to fold or something that he's trying to protect, but I don't care to find out. I lay it down, lose a little bit of our profit there, and I end up playing for like 30-40 more minutes. Playing really tight, honestly. Like, I just flatted ace 10 suited instead of 3-betting, folded when somebody else did 3-bet, lose a few small ones, win a couple small ones. But in the end, I realize I'm just playing way too tight to be profitable, playing way too scared really of going under my 3K mark. So I'm gonna rack things up, count up my chips, and I've got 4,150 of them. Challenge complete. Played for about 2.5 hours total, but I finished after about an hour and a half, which is really just absolutely insane. Let's talk about the whole thing and the subscriber giveaway right now.
Wow. That was fast. I don't think I've ever won such a large amount of money in the first 15 minutes I was at a table than I did today. And for it to happen when I'm filming this video is just, I mean, it's hilariously lucky, really. So I have $1,000 to give away to one of you. To qualify, you need to do 2 things. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. What's your favorite hand that I've played on this vlog? Could be from this video, could be from any video that I've posted. Totally up to you, and I'll pick the winner in the next video, send the money, everything like that. So stay tuned. You probably have about a week or so, if I had to guess. I'm trying to do weekly uploads now, so yeah, about a week to get your comment in, and you'll be entered in the sweepstakes. So good luck to you. And yeah, just talking about today, I mean, I was ready to go till like 4 a.m. We got here pretty late. It's been snowing lately here in Texas, which is very weird. So got kind of a late start on the day, but yeah, didn't really matter. I was actually just thinking a second ago too, like I ran a couple red lights to get here, and I'm, you know, maybe you shouldn't do that, but I'm so glad I did, because it's like the precise moment that I entered and got into my seat was perfect. Like the first hand double up, a few hands later felt a guy for a bunch, and then just smooth sailing really from there. No more huge hands, but didn't really need them either. I played for like an hour, maybe a little bit less, after I hit my mark, and I just did that because I didn't want to like hit and run the table and like leave after like what, hour and a half, hour 45 that I was there. But I was playing like so scared because I didn't want to like drop below the 3K threshold. So it's just, I might as well just leave, right? So here we are. The final number is right here. So went over the 3K mark by just a little bit. Happy to do so. Yeah, man, just amazing. I don't know what else to say. Very, very lucky. I needed this because I've been on quite a downswing, and even giving away the 1K, still gonna end up with a nice chunk of change in my pocket. Working my way back up to the big game, 5, 10, 25. Lately, it's actually been going like 10, 25, 50. So maybe that's on the horizon. We'll see. I have a pretty lofty goal for 2025 that I'll share in the next video. Yeah, man, need all the luck I can get, really. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you then on the KDog Poker Vlog.